I'm Ted Keys in Pasadena, California. Welcome to my Tuesday conference call, a free high-powered meeting I hold live every Tuesday for top producing freight agents. Go to tedkeysonline.com for complete call information. Then join us weekly to see new, serious, struggling, and experienced sales professionals move more freight efficiently, effectively, effortlessly, and make more money financially. So watch my recorded call topic highlighted there on your screen right now. When you're finished, go to tedkeysonline.com and hear more podcasts. Read more blog posts, watch more videos, and while you're there, visit my Freight Sales Success Store for top-notch freight moving products to explode your business today. Enjoy watching and applying my Tuesday conference call.
Okay, guys, welcome again to my Tuesday conference call, where, as you know, every Tuesday I direct you, I guide you to move more freight and to provide the best possible service out there in the freight industry. Today we're talking about, our title is, Do You Know Your Numbers? Now, when I'm talking about numbers, I am not talking about what's the AR, what's the AP on loads, what's the profit. I'm talking about, do you know the numbers that are required to make proper connections with your marketplace? So let's go ahead and delve into this. Now, when we make connections with the marketplace, there's a certain number of connections, collections, whatever you want to call it. There's a certain number of times that we have to actually touch our prospects. Now, I don't mean physically touch, but I mean this in a verbal way, because I do teach sales from your phone line. So let's just talk about this a little bit. I know this is a topic I go over frequently, and I go over frequently because it is so important to know these numbers. Now, if you look to your attachments there, first attachment always is our freight leaderboard. Congratulations to you guys that are leading in all those categories. Congratulations to you other folks who are slowly moving up. I always like to see movement, but then again, I know some of you that are leaders, you certainly don't want to see your name slide. Either way, you move more freight, you're going to stand out more. That's just how it goes. Let's talk about knowing our numbers. And when I talk about knowing our numbers, I'm talking about freight statistics or freight success statistics. So let's venture on from that first leaderboard to our first attachment here, if you're following along here. Let's talk about freight success statistics. And what we do, these are statistics that we've got to know as we're connecting and collaborating with our marketplace. Let me go ahead and read this first one here. Starts off with a great question. Why do some succeed, and why do so many fail in small business enterprises? Let's face it, we are a small business enterprise, but I'll say this, that you move more freight, you connect with more prospects, more customers, you don't become a small business enterprise anymore, you become a medium business enterprise. But it boils down to one thing, and that one thing is this. It's the ability and determination to contact prospects, consistently follow up, and maintain repeated follow-up contact with them. That's what it boils down to, the ability and your determination to contact prospects, consistently follow up, and maintain repeated follow-up contact with them. Why did I say that again? Because it's so important. But in reality, it boils down to that one thing. Let me read on here. Nowhere is this more important than in our industry, which is the freight industry. Most people don't understand the role that marketing, connecting, and the strategic importance of following up with prospects plays in this profession. It's pretty basic stuff, but even the most experienced professionals forget to follow these basics. What are those basics? Well, let me read further. The importance of following up is best illustrated by research. Again, this is research, not only research, but what I've applied in my building up of my contact list. I go by example, but it's illustrated by research from the National Sales Executive Association, a trade group for salespeople. Their remarkable statistics demonstrate that most sales, this is the most important thing, guys, most sales are made from the 5th through the 12th contact. Actually, this applies to so many other different areas. It applies to just building relationships with people. How many people have you met that you become friends with only after repeated contact with them? Well, why is that? Because only after repeated contact do you realize, hey, I've got something in common with this woman, with this man, with this door-to-door salesman, whoever it may be. But most sales are made from the 5th through the 12th contact. And here's data that they've compiled regarding sales per contact ratios. Here's the data. 2% of sales are made on the first contact. That's the first thing. Boy, if you're making sales on your first contact, you are a superstar. In reality, only 2% are made on the first contact. Now, 3% of sales are made on the second contact. 5% of sales are made on the third contact. 10% of sales are made on the fourth contact. And as I said earlier, 80% of sales are made from the 5th through the 12th contact. That's why I tell you to continually email, continually call your customers, and here's why sales are made between those contacts. It's because typically your prospects are in a bind, they have a problem, they're looking for your solution. So, fact. Here's the facts, guys. Main fact. 95% of your competition, meaning other freight brokers in this industry, will drop a prospect after the third try. Again, 95% of your competition of other freight brokers in this industry will drop a prospect after the third try. So, can you see we're putting out another 25% more effort than your competition? That is, by making that fourth contact will improve your sales by 100%. Does it make sense to double that effort? That is, another 8 contacts for a total of 12 contacts to multiply your sales by another 700%. For those of you gentlemen and ladies that are truly producing in this group, this is why you are producing, because you take my information and you apply it and you understand the numbers game. Now, it's not just a numbers game. It's not just dialing the phone and sending out emails. It's doing it effectively. It's saying the right words. It's relating effectively with your prospect. It's not just going along, oh, let me shoot out an email, let me make a phone call, hey, are you moving anything this week? No, it's finding out about your customer. It's finding out things that they can relate to. All of that matters. Here's an example. Why does Coke pay millions of dollars per month in advertising costs? Again, not just thousands or hundreds of thousands. Coke pays millions of dollars per month in advertising costs. Why do they do that? Hold on. There's one reason why they do that, and that is they do it because they want you to think of Coke as often as humanly possible. They know you already know whether or not you like Coke. They know you already know where to buy it. They know you already know the cost, or nearly so. Still, you hear Coke ads, you see Coke on billboards, you see them advertising during the Super Bowl, which, by the way, Super Bowl advertising is one of the most cost-effective advertising there is in the world. If you ask any advertiser, they will say that advertising during the Super Bowl, paying whatever it is, $30 million for 30 seconds, is the most cost-productive advertising that they've ever done. Why? Because it reaches billions of people. But I digress. You hear Coke ads. You see Coke on billboards. You see it in magazines, on TV, on radio, and on and on. Why? They do it to keep Coke on your mind as often as possible, to crave it, and to ultimately buy it. So when your prospects get an email from you, when your prospects get a call from you, and that is an effective call, and a call where you're actually showing interest in what the opportunity there is that they're offering, when they hear and read and, well, in George's case, see you as often as possible, you're basically going along the premise of how Coke advertises. So, do you see that initial and repeated exposure is a must? You have to market your service to your prospects the exact same way, gentlemen and ladies. Everybody's vying for your prospect's mind. The question is, who's doing it the most and who's doing it effectively? You got to play this game hard. You have to play it consistently. You have to be persistent with the utmost determination to succeed over time, from your initial introduction to success or until they tell you to stop. So if your prospect has not told you to stop, they may say, "Hey, we're good, we're covered, things are slow." That's not saying, "Hey, go away, stop bothering me." They're not telling you to stop. So what do? You continue to connect with them. It's that simple. And there's a thing. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know, you may not know whether they're going to be a good shipper or not. You don't know if they're going to be profitable or not. But those are the things that everybody has to do. They're the building blocks to become successful in this industry and in this profession. So, again, most sales are made from the 5th through the 12th contact. Remember that. Ingrain it in your mind. Once you do that, that's your guideline. That's your guidepost. 5th through the 12th contact. 80% of sales are made in that range. I'm going to X out of there, go into my next my next attachment that I've got here. And this gives you an example of how committed you have to be to marketing. And when I say marketing, as I say it, marketing is sending out your emails, it's making your phone calls. That's all marketing. I've been in marketing a long time. I have videos that I use. I have a very effective LinkedIn page that I use. My form of marketing is a little more advanced, but when you're starting off, this is what you use. You use the phone, you use your voice, you use your emails, you use your words. So let's talk about how important it is to be committed to your marketing through this one example. Let me explain. The first time a man looks at an ad, he doesn't see it. The first time he looks at an ad, he doesn't see it. The second time a man sees an ad, he doesn't notice it. Again, we're going from this is our example of the 5th to the 12th contact, guys. The third time, he is conscious of its existence. The fourth time, he faintly remembers having seen it. The fifth time he sees an ad, he actually reads it. This is an ad that's starting to make an impression. This is a phone call of you reaching through to your prospect. The sixth time, he turns up his nose at it. How many times have we felt like a prospect has turned up their nose at us? Sometimes they do. A lot of times they don't. Most of the time they don't. But it's a feeling that you get. It's like, this guy doesn't like me. Believe me, he just hasn't heard your voice enough or seen your emails enough. The seventh time, he reads it through and says, "Oh, brother," like, "yeah, I'm going to buy this." The eighth time, he says, "Here's that confounded thing again." And yes, some of your prospects think, here's Debbie calling me again. This is, like the third time she's called me. What am I going to say? But she's persistent. There's something about this woman. There's something about Tom as he keeps calling me. There's something about Greg. This guy's persistent. Boy, he's not the flake that I typically get from, the 90% of other folks that are calling me. The ninth time, he wonders whether it's going to amount to anything. The 10th time, he will ask his neighbor if he has tried it, meaning they'll ask another cohort, "Hey, have you heard of this? Have you heard of William from LDI?" The The 11th time, he wonders how the advertiser makes it pays. In our case, he wonders, boy, this guy is persistent. He's serious. This is like the 6th time he's called me. The 12th time, he thinks it must be a good thing. Why? Because Ben keeps calling me. There's something about this guy. He sounds professional. This guy is serious because he is persistent. He is serious about earning my business. The 13th time, he thinks it might be worth something. The 14th time, he remembers he always wanted to work with such an individual, somebody he could count on, somebody that would solve his problems. The 15th time, he's tantalized because he can't afford to buy it. Well, he can buy it. He can afford our service. The 16th time, he thinks he'll buy it or use you someday or one day. The 17th time, he makes a memorandum of it. The 18th time, he swears that he can't afford it. How many times have we heard that things are slow? Hey, I'm happy with who I have. You're too expensive, even though they haven't used us before. The 18th time, he swears at his poverty. The 19th time, he counts his money carefully. The 20th time, he uses you because he's run into a bind. Now, I've changed that a little bit. The 20th time, he uses you because he's in a bind. You're the one that's called him the most. You're the one he's emailed the most. He uses you because he's in a bind. Somebody dropped the load. Somebody dropped the ball, and you've solved his situation for him. You've come up with that truck that he's got to get loaded today in Birmingham, Alabama, and deliver to Charlotte, North Carolina. So, does that sound about right? I know it's a little drawn out. Again, 6th or 5th through the 12th time. This is drawn out to the 20th time. I don't want to scare you. But this list was written in 1885. It goes to show that things haven't changed much. When will you stop before you reach number 20 or, in reality, number 12? Or are you committing to do whatever it takes? And most of all, never, ever, ever giving up or quitting. That's how committed you are in this profession. You must be committed to your marketing, as small as it is, but it is effective. Picking up the phone, connecting and collaborating, and building relationships with the marketplace. Okay, let's move on to our 4th attachment. 4th attachment says, continually grow your business. Again, we're not just dealing with a few people here that we're trying to get their business. Continually grow your business. Always search for new prospects to drop in the pipeline, replacing business that you will eventually lose. And that's the case. Our customers, they do come and go. We finally get their business. We think, hey, I'm just going to work with these 3 guys here because they're going to stay with me forever. Always continually grow your business. Here's another reason why, because business and freight runs in cycles. How many of us right now are reeling because our customers just don't have loads to move for us when they did 1, 2, 3 months ago? Continually grow your business. Again, I go over this. Typically, obtain 3 new contacts daily regardless of how well your freight is moving. Let's X out of there, open up the next one. Guys, remember when calling your prospects and customers, don't attempt to figure out the best time to call. There is no best time to call. Get on the phone now or you won't reach anybody. This is a stickler. We ponder, gee, is right now the best time to call? And believe me, we can come up with so many excuses not to. But here's the thing. There is no best time to call. Here's what you do. You get on the phone now or you won't reach anybody. How many of you can relate to that? Let's X out of there. Open the next one, guys. Remember, when calling prospects and customers, end today and every day with a positive call. Let me say that again. End today and every day with a positive call. Right before I got on the line today, I was just slightly late. I typically start at 2 o'clock Pacific time, but I was on the call right before. I just got done covering a load, actually a load that should have picked up yesterday. I finally got it covered. Boy, what a great day to end the day. Whether it's a sale or other objective, it assists in starting off your next day with a great attitude. So, end today and every day with a positive call. Do whatever you have to do to finish every day in a positive way. Let's move out of there and move on to the last one, guys. Remember, when calling prospects and customers, make one more call every day. For me, the recipe is make 3 contacts. Do not stop at 3. Again, that's a minimum. Make one more call every day. Attempt to pass yesterday's goals. You'll be amazed with your results. Now, I say make 3 new contacts a day. That is the minimum. If you want to stick around with minimum, that's fine. But at least do the minimum. But if you want to generate bigger and better results, make more calls every single day. Attempt to pass yesterday's goals. You'll be amazed with your results.
You've just taken a tremendous step forward by watching and applying my Tuesday conference call highlight. Do you desire to earn and learn with our top freight team and Christian-based office? Yes? We're searching for a self-starter who's serious, motivated, and ready to take action right now. Is that you? Go to tedkeysonline.com/contacts and enter your contact details. We provide top-notch freight agent sales training to you. Then you deliver those same skills with confidence to the freight industry marketplace. I'll talk to you soon.